So it looks like I'm live. I hope I'm live. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Just throw some emojis in the chat if you are here on the live stream. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my weekly plan with me, my weekly bullet journal situation. How's it going? For me, it's been a really shitty week. Let me move my microphone. I think it's a little off. Here we go. There we go. Now my microphone is more in front of my face. Anyway, yeah. Just let me know that you're hearing everything okay. Hi, Jamie. So I didn't get a lot done this week because I wasn't feeling good. I spent, when was it? So I got stuff done on Monday, got stuff done on Tuesday, and then I canceled everything on Wednesday, was in bed most of the day Wednesday, I was in bed most of the day Thursday, I was in bed most of the day Friday, and then yesterday I did laundry and sat on the couch and played Animal Crossing. So it has been a very unproductive, if that's what you want to call it, week. You can see here my list is very not checked off. Although I did some of those things, I'm going to go check them off in a minute. But compare it to like this week or this week, both weeks where I spent plenty of time resting, but I still got stuff done. I did not get very much done this last week at all. I had to cancel a Patreon thing. I had to cancel a YouTube thing. I had to cancel a bunch of calls. So yeah, it was rough. And it wasn't like anything was specifically, killing me, Smalls. It was just being, close to kidney failure. I was just having a really hard time of it. My body was just not wanting anything to do with anything, basically. Yes, it is. These are Amanda Rachel's washi tapes. I really love the neutral ones and the monochromatic ones. So yeah, I've been putting them down. Anyway, so what I do want to do really quick is go down this list and check off things I did get done so that I can know what needs to get moved to this week. I did that, and I did that, and I did that. I need to do that. My fridge is a wreck, my guys. I did a little bit of decor, but not all of it. No, I did some of that, so some of it's gonna... No. Yes. No. All right, and I did wash my hair once, so yeah, yay. But also gross. Yes. So I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to the next week and just see what happens, because I want to talk about I have a lot to do. I am not by any means low on work to get done. I have plenty of work I need to be doing right now. And losing most of a week because I wasn't feeling good isn't great. But I'm no good to anybody if I can't do anything ever. So I need to listen to my body. And to be fair, even if I was able to get stuff done, you know what I'm saying? Even if I pushed through and did it this week, most likely I would be on my back this next week. So, it's not like I'm having a lot of trouble forming sentences, you guys. It's not like I was just putting off the inevitable. I don't know what the best way to put it is. Do I have a video for my chunky letters? I don't know, actually. I feel like I might. It might be a really old one, but if not, I need to do one. I'm going to be doing more lettering stuff after the beginning of the year, and actually some in December. More on that later. All right, I think I want to do just a full-blown straight line across for my weekly. So I'm still going to use the Alistair method. Now, moving into December, I am 99.9% sure I am going to be bullet journal only. again, but I'm going to try different layouts. I think what I'm going to do is every week I am going to, is it here? Yeah. Every week I am going to try maybe a different thing. I have the burps. Sorry. Maybe look at different YouTubers, bullet journal people, some of their different weekly layouts, give them a try. That is going to be something I'm going to try this next month while still doing the Alistair method. I'm going to look at different ways to incorporate. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm drinking a ginger ale right now, and it's giving me the burpity burps. Yes, Carrie, I actually did. Well, I mean, it helped me but I basically didn't look at the rest of my week in my planner. So yes, but I'm going to give it another try to give it like the old college try. Alrighty. Anyway, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Boop. All right. So we've got that. And then what's going on? But your best friend just lost her husband last night. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Joanna. Big hugs for all of you guys. Yeah, I did a video on the Amanda Rachel washi tapes, the ones I ordered. I didn't get the pastel ones because, to be perfectly honest, I have no need of pastel washi tapes. But I did get the neutral and the black and white ones because they are gorgeous. And I don't have a lot of washi tapes with that particular color scheme. And if you know anything about how I like to use washi tapes, you would know that I love having access to like basically every possible color scheme I could possibly want with washi tapes. Like I have no guilt about being a washi tape hoarder because my style of planning is very much no matter where I plan, whether it's here or there or everywhere, it's very much a style of planning that involves color coordination. And I like having options. Okay. You're not hearing the birds. The back door is closed. And it's also super overcast today. I haven't actually seen a lot of bird action. It's been like rainy or cold this last week. We had the doors open earlier because it was I'm going to put some washi tape. No, I don't know yet. Let me wait and see. Just to play mom, you went to the university the other day and they say you have stage 1 kidney failure and they found cyst on both kidneys. Just to play mom, do you know if you are, if it is being diagnosed as polycystic kidney disease? Because if it is, 10 out of 10 recommend the PKD Foundation website. They have a lot of really good information, like a lot of good information. I'm looking at you snuggled with the fur critters. Good times. I woke up with a bit of a headache today as well. I don't know if it's the weather, like the air pressure change, or if it's because I didn't drink enough water yesterday, which I'll go back and update my habits. Actually, I should do that now while I'm thinking about it. Let me just do this really quick. And then I will go update my habits, which I haven't done most of this week. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's go back. Here we go. Yep. See, as you can see, Monday was Monday the last day I updated? Yes. All right, let's go through. Waking up at 7 a.m. I did not do that except for, I did on this day, but I went back to bed after that. But other than that, not this week. Makeup. I put makeup on Thursday and Friday, even though I was feeling super crummy. We actually had a conference call I couldn't cancel on Friday, so that was part of it. Stretch. Nope. Fruits and veggies. Water. Pretty much every day this week except for yesterday. Make dinner. Walk. Not really. I've been feeling so bad. Read. I did read quite a bit. And then clean kitchen. Fuck if I know. Jesse cleaned it today, so we'll give him that. All right, so I don't think this might be the first week that I don't hit my Power Sheets situation. Now, I am going to scribble in a little bit of the live stream because I figured out some lighting that works a little bit better for me. And I did a little bit of Christmas decor. I need to do more, and I'll do it this week. Maintain. Did I declutter any bullshit this week? No, this past week. But let's count. I have to hit 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I did not maintain 50% of my habits this week, which is okay. It was a rough week. Anyway, moving forward. Oh, I'm sorry about having to put your fur baby down, Christina. Yeah, it's been a rough week, it seems like, for a lot of people. And I will add that there was no reason. There was no extra reason. Loki didn't step on my kidneys. I didn't bend over funky. I just was having a really bad week because I'm sick. I've got kidney disease. So we do have an update with ours. Your school's going virtual for 2 weeks, Christina. So our school is still, let me start lettering here. Our school, my kids' school, is still open for the kids who are in the cohorts that are going in for part-time school. Napa has moved back into the purple tier. 2 weeks of way bigger COVID numbers, but the schools don't have to close unless the schools themselves are seeing bigger COVID numbers. So is tomorrow the 23rd? Yes. Okay. But we decided when we saw the new numbers in Napa that we were going to pull the kids back to all virtual because that's just more stress than we need right now. And we talked to the kids because the biggest reason we sent them back in for, the hybrid, the couple days a week of in-person was because we thought it would be better for them mentally, but they both understood why. They're like, okay, A, Mom and Jess are vulnerable, but B, Kat said dude, I don't want to get sick. So both kids were fine with us pulling them back. They were only going in for about 3 hours a day, twice a week. So it wasn't a huge amount, but yeah. So they did not even go in. I pulled them, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, I sent the email and they were already back to virtual as of, this last week. So they didn't go in this last week. Your college is now virtual for the last 2 weeks of the semester. Washington shut down. I'm sorry, Abby. I'm also wiping my nose because my nose is runny today. So as for the holiday this week, if you are not American, you may not have known that American Thanksgiving is this week. We are not doing anything. The kids are at Dad's. We already did our zoomsgiving, which for those of you who are bummed because you're not going to be doing in-person Thanksgiving this year and not seeing people in person, let me just say that if you do it via Zoom, I said as much to my patrons earlier, and I'll say it again and again, I think all went in thinking it was going to be a little weak sauce because we love being together as a family. And I mean, it was nowhere near the same as being together as a family, but it was a lot better than we thought it was going to be. It was so good to see family members. It was so good, even if it was virtually. And I mean, I was telling my patrons, maybe the bar is low. It's a low bar to reach now for seeing people. I'd rather see people on Zoom than not see them at all. Do you know what I mean? But still, Like if you are having like some kind of a zoomsgiving or a Zooms holiday this week, just know that chances are it's going to go better than maybe you expect. All right. That's my little prediction for you. But yeah, the kids are at dad's this week. So I'm going to make a little turkey breast and some mashed potatoes because we didn't do that for our Zoomsgiving. We did appetizers because Kat doesn't like turkey, but I like dry white meat turkey with gravy on it. So I'm all about that. Yeah, the Trans Day of Remembrance. We were talking about that. Jesse changed his stuff on Slack to mark it. Oh, hi, Mark. All right. So we got this going. I feel like my lettering got bigger the farther I went in the week. Roasted chicken, carrots, potatoes, and homemade rolls. I want to do homemade rolls. See, Jessica, we managed it partly because my grandma was with my uncle and people up there. And so she, and at her nursing home, they actually have a person who will go around and set up Zoom calls for the elderly folks there because we did that with my grandma one day, which I thought was really cool. But yeah. You got your name and gender marker changed on Trans Day of Remembrance. That's awesome, Gabriel. Awesome for you. 10 out of 10. Sorry if I'm missing anybody's comments. I'm kind of like just sort of looking back and forth, but like my energy level is so low right now that I am just trying to get this week set up. Like I don't anticipate being on forever and a day on here, but I did want to talk about productivity. I did put on here that I wanted to talk about productivity and chronic illness. And there's going to be a video about that. I've been researching it and it just keeps not happening because, funny fact, I've been sick. And so it hasn't been happening. Whoops. Uh-oh. I just got a call from somebody from church for something I need to actually answer eventually, so I need to remember that. I'm pulling up the weather right now. But yeah, so it's interesting when you're like in the middle. Oh man, when it's not supposed to rain again for another week. Bummer. Oh shit, I'm being too big here though. I need room for the temperature. Don't pay any attention to me. 64, 43. And for blood pressure, which I was really not good about last week. Anyway, so like the irony, right? Like I'm in the middle of researching a video to talk about productivity and chronic illness. And then my chronic illness keeps me from filming that video like 3 weeks in a row. You know, there's a certain amount of irony there. But like, okay, first of all, one of the things I was looking at was the definition of productive. Okay. Now, if you look up the definition of productive, most of the definitions you're going to find are actually business related definitions, you know, talking about how productivity relates in terms of effort versus output, right? Like the more productive you are, the less effort for higher output. Does that make sense? Like for the more like maximum productivity means maximum output for minimal effort, basically. That's not exactly it, but I'm not looking at any of the things I was looking at before, but that general idea. So talking about like productivity when it comes to, factories or I don't know, civilized business people shit. And I was having a lot of trouble finding a definition that really kind of encompassed personal productivity the way that like it gets talked about in like planner and bullet journal circles. Do you know what I'm saying? Like being productive as a person, the whole like maximum effort, maximum output thing, which I mean, you could apply to that, but I was looking for something a little bit more specific and I wasn't finding it, right? Maybe I had the wrong search terms. I don't know. But I was looking at that and I was thinking about it, right? Hello from New Hampshire. I just looked up and saw that. Sorry, I glanced up and there's so many different conversations going on and I love it. What's your favorite Christmas baking treat? My Aunt Mimi's sugar cookies. She would bring a plate of them every year and we would fight over them. And I have the recipe, so I'm going to make them this year. Working from home makes you feel not productive at all. It's funny. Isn't that efficiency? Yeah, Anita, but that also tends to go hand in hand with productivity, right? More efficient you are, the more productive you are, allegedly. And it's funny. Jesse, I swear to God, has told me that he feels like he works more hours at home, but is less productive. Right, Jess? Or at least it was that way when you first started working from home?
Yeah, I still think it's still that way.
Yeah. But, okay, so we have all this done. So, let me, I'm going to start doing some lettering. So, when I was thinking about productivity and chronic illness, there's one level of it where it's like, how can I be productive when I can't predict on any given day whether it's going to be a day like Monday where I got shit done or a day like Thursday where I spent all my time in bed. For example, Thursday, imperfect foods. I had an imperfect foods window that's not my normal window because of the holiday this week. And because I was in bed and didn't even look at my bullet journal, I missed the window and now I'm getting a box of stuff and I'm not entirely certain what's going to be in it. I mean, I could look and see, but it's a bunch of stuff that like I would not necessarily have chosen. So it's going to be an interesting week, Yeah, Pamela, the idea of productivity in the sense is the product. Maybe we as planner people need to come up with our own definition. Yeah. Have I done a video on the journal I'm going to use next year? No, not yet. It's coming soon. Is productivity... I don't know what I'm at. I don't even know what I'm writing yet. It's like one of those Google autocorrect situations on YouTube. Can I get more shit done? But then there's this other idea of like, is my being in bed productive? Because ultimately it was recognizing that my body only had so much energy, and if I overdid it, then not only would I have a hard time that day, but it might mean that my days in bed would last longer. How does that fit in with the idea of being productive? Like, is laying down in your bed all day because you have chronic illness productive? Because what you are producing is rest. You are producing time that allows you to take care of your body so that the next time you have more energy, you can use it wisely. Is that productive? And, you know, if you live along the life of like looking at like the systems of like get shit done or whatever the fuck it is. What is that one guy's system called? The one guy getting it done, getting things done. That one fucking guy who has like there's a whole book on it and whose name I cannot remember for the life of me. Monica says, I feel this productive. The planner community starts the same shit as the MLM crap. If you have more time, allows. Oh, believe me, I have thoughts. Jackie says, so much of modern productivity is based on tangible results, and that just isn't the case all of the time. What if I lay down at the end? Spike says, what if I lay down at the end of the day and feel like I'm not about to completely lose my shit because I produced an okay day? At work, Pamela can measure how many spreadsheets. And that's, I think, Pamela, I think you have the gist of it right here. You've hit like the nail on the head. As an adulting, personal productivity, what benchmark do we have to measure that we're being productive, right? If you're being productive as a accountant person or somebody who has to make spreadsheets for their job, the more spreadsheets you make in an hour or whatever, the more productive you are. When I was a cake decorator, they had productivity standards that they wanted because I cake decorated a grocery store where you had to do like X number of 8-inch round cakes or X number of cupcakes or whatever. You had X number of things to do in an hour to like hit their productivity benchmarks, right? When there's a product, when something is being produced, you have a way to measure it. But when it's more amorphous than that, when you're adulting, as you're trying to be productive as an adult and take care of like your business, your laundry, your work, your meals, drinking enough water, going to the doctor. Maybe that's why in the planner community, so many people use habit trackers, because that's a way to be like, I'm an adult. Look at this. In this week, I was super productive because I checked off all these habits. I can, like, remember I was saying I want to get 50% of my habits. Like right there, that's a way to like, to add a number to my adulting. Like a concrete benchmark to my adulting. Like you're producing your life, right? Debbie, that's a good point. My main job is entirely reactive. I answer the phone. That's it. If nobody calls, am I not productive? Your health is your product. How do you measure your kids' happiness and care? Like these are, and I'm not, part of the thing that I'm like, make sure I'm spelling this right here. Hold on. Productive is productivity. I still don't know what I'm writing yet. I'm getting to the end of productivity and I'll figure it out from there. But like getting things done. I think that's the name of it, Missy. Is that the book? You guys probably talked about it and I missed it because I haven't been glancing at the comments. Like I'm missing a lot of comments right now. But you read a lot of but Missy says, you read a lot of productivity, getting things done, all geared towards business, and I felt it was all forgive gender bias men who didn't have to deal with groceries, cleaning, and vet appointments. Dude, Missy, right there, you have hit some of this on the head. What is it called? The project management of your household. Do you know what I mean? Like that idea that like often one person, often a woman in a heterosexual relationship, is the one who has to carry the mental burden of running the house, like making sure that X appointments get scheduled and the groceries come in and the laundry is done and like so-and-so has to be here and blah, blah, blah. And like, you can't measure that. And all the books about productivity don't talk about measuring that, because how do you measure that? Like, how do you measure your kids' happiness? How do you measure your declutteredness of your house? Is that even a word, declutteredy? With a D. What is it? Here, hold on. Let me get my Post-its out. I'm going to spell that. That's a new word for me. Decluttered. Decluttered E. Decluttered E. What did Mara say? The second shift. Yeah. household management, emotional labor. Isa H17 said, is productivity even real? No, probably not. And like, this is a capital, at least in the United States, we're capitalist society. So the focus on more and more, and maybe that, productive, maybe that's why there is such that push to monetize your hobbies. And I can't hate too much because that's kind of what I did. But the idea that, like, you know, if you love sewing, how can you make money? This Y looks like janky bullshit, but that's okay. Is productivity. We'll finish that. You're flunking declutteredity. Oh, okay. So emotional labor is when part of your job is to perform a certain emotional state. That makes sense. So not emotional labor. It's, there's a word for it. I don't remember what it is. But the point is, like, the idea of monetizing your hobbies, or if you have spare time, why don't you start a side hustle or all of those things? That's the idea for, like, if you have spare time, you need to be producing money, right? Like productivity, you need to produce something of quote unquote value, but value being, got the burps, value being financial value. Jonelle says, I remember seeing a tweet from, I think I saw the same tweet from a guy saying, if you work 9 to 5 and then come home and aren't monetizing your free time, you don't have the hustle to get ahead. I hate the word hustle. I hate it so much. Is productivity dead? We're not, that might be what I write. But like, is productivity, maybe that's what I should do. Dead? Question mark? Like at different ideas. Is productivity dead? Is productivity worth it? What else? Is productivity a skill? What the is productivity? But like, no, and I hate hustle culture too. Is productivity a value? JH, you're my hero right now. You stand for J hero. Is productivity a value? Like, for one, like when I am on my best, like when I'm getting shit done, when I am on a roll, we've all had those days, I'm sure. Days where you feel like you're just knocking it out of the park. And maybe that's why I love to-do lists, because that gives me a way to track what I'm getting done. I'm knocking it out of the park. And I've cleaned up the house and made dinner and got a bunch of freelance work done and all this other shit. My inbox is clear-ish. And like, I've like taken care of all my business. And that's a productive day in my mind because I've done all of this stuff and gotten my to-do list checked off and cleared out all my shit and I can like keep moving forward. But a day where I lay down in bed because I just can't get anything done, but my kid comes in and we have a conversation while I'm laying there, or I just lay there in pain and play Animal Crossing, is that a productive day? Because in that day, I didn't push myself to get stuff done because I knew that it was a bad idea and it would make me even more sick. And instead, I did the one thing I knew I could do to take care of myself, which was lay down and take it easy. Is that productive? Like, what does it even fucking mean? You know? Deb says, I think productivity is being able to get yourself into a position where you can take care of yourself and your immediate family without going into effort debt. What is productive and what is busyness? Is productivity important? These are all questions we're asking ourselves. What's a clean inbox, right? Like when I said clean inbox, what I really said was clean inbox. Wait, what did Lisa say? 'Cause somebody quoted you. There is no such thing as spare time. There's just time. Why do we judge what we're doing with time based on money? Lisa, I'm writing that down. I'm going to add that right here. There is no such thing as spare time. There is just time, Lisa. Is productivity a social construct? Yes. Productivity is a disease and I need to get well soon. I'm writing that one too. I like that. This is fun. And don't get me wrong. The feeling of being quote unquote productive on a day that I've gotten a whole bunch of shit done feels so good to me. It checks all of the boxes in things that make me a happy person. But the problem is if that's what makes me happy, then on a day I don't get a whole bunch of stuff done, I need the right perspective to realize that like, just because I'm not getting things done doesn't mean I'm not being the best person I can. Now, who was it? I lost another one that I wanted to. Elizabeth Cuny says, how does productivity relate to the first and fourth principles? The first principle is one I can always remember. The fourth principle is, I don't know which one it is. I have to look that one up because I know all the principles. I just don't know them all in order. But the first principle is the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And if you think about how society values quote unquote being productive, if somebody can't be productive in the ways society deems acceptable because of whatever reason, whether they have illness or whether they have mental things they're working through, or whether they are, disabled in some way or another, or they're, for whatever reason, whether they're depressed or whether they have kidney failure or whatever it is, for some reason they can't they can't go to work or whatever. They can't make their own money. They can't, and there's people in this chat I know who are like that. That doesn't make you any less of a person. That doesn't give you any less dignity because you can't, quote unquote, produce, right? And it is really fucked up to assign the value of somebody based on what they can do, which I will mention is the way some people see things. The idea of like the prosperity gospel and the idea of like making money means you're successful. Making money means that you have hustle. Making money means that you've like cracked the life code. I'd always thought that was a toxic mindset, but also like thinking about it through the lens of each person having worth and dignity means that if people who can make lots of money are like put on a pedestal, where does that leave the people who can't? Think about that, Oh, Jackie said is productivity. I did miss it in the chat. Thank you, Alicia. She says productivity. I can't even say it anymore. Ableist, which I think goes to the heart of what I just said. Do you know what I'm saying? Is productivity fucked? What is the cost of productivity culture? Yes, the principles I'm talking about are the Unitarian Universalist principles. Search for truth and meaning. Elizabeth, thank you. God, I'm losing all my shit. Where'd it go? I lost it. As a stay-at-home mom who refuses to monetize my hobbies or run a side hustle, you've learned it's okay to consider a day productive if everyone stayed alive. Claw, yes. What was the other thing I was looking for? Is productivity a trap? There was a quote I wanted to write down and I can't find it. I'll have to go back through these comments later because there's a lot of good stuff you guys are saying here. And productivity what is the cost of productivity culture, Aaron? Better than doodles. Okay. Yes, inherent worth and dignity. The first Zvi is telling all the UU principles. But yes, the fourth UU principle is a free and responsible, like we as UU congregations affirm people's right to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And how are you, if all of your effort is focused on making money, being productive in that way, A, do you have room in your life for a search for truth and meaning? And B, is that search for truth and meaning focused purely on money and like gaining, like tangible gain rather than necessarily spiritual or philosophical gain? Not everybody's down for that, and I get that, but it's something to think about. What do you do? Well, I do a lot of things. No, I don't work outside the home. Melissa, I've absolutely heard that. And I think a lot of this can apply to stay-at-home parents, people who don't work outside the home, who feel like they somehow don't matter as much because they don't have a job, like a 9-to-5 job, you know? Jessica asks, why do we feel guilty for not being productive by others? Could they be the ones ignoring the problem? That's a good question. The principles do include 0 about productivity, Grace. Here's another thing that I was just thinking about, right? There's a perfect object lesson within the planner community about how productivity is seen. So whenever somebody asks why somebody sticks a bunch of stickers in their planner, or like does the super like stickery, or has a bullet journal that is like super arty, and people are like, why would you do that? Isn't it meant to be a planner? And like, I am the first one to say that for me, my planner needs to be like a to-do list for me to keep. I need, like, for example, this imperfect foods window that I missed. Like, I am a fucking scatterbrain and I need somewhere to write everything down, but I like adding fun things like lettering because I like lettering, you know? And for people who are like, well, I don't have anything to plan, but I want to like put stickers in my planner, and it feels wrong to do that because people are like, you're not being productive or whatever. It's like, no, motherfucker, put some stickers in your fucking planner. If it makes you happy, you're producing happiness. So that's productive. Doing something for the sake of, like, since when was happiness less valuable than money or a checked off to-do list or clean laundry? Now, I grew up poor. I also recognize that without money, like, money doesn't buy happiness, but money buys security. Money buys security. Money buys options. And money buys time, often. But money is not necessary for happiness. So how is it that doing something just because it makes you happy has become like somehow less than, you know? Like when people are like, well, if you're doing something that makes you happy, but you can't get any, quote, like tangible value out of it, then how is that being productive? Well, why does it have to be tangible value? Maybe happiness is value. You know, happiness should be value. Rest should be value. You know, quiet time, alone time, especially if you're an introvert, has like immense value. We've all learned during this pandemic that physical touch, hugs have so much value. Money buys padding for emergency. Money buys not dying. Exactly. Like, making money is necessary in the society that we live in to do things. But that doesn't mean that it needs to be assigned some sort of like mystical awesomeness because it's money and that's what drives our society. Because without the people in our society, money is just a bunch of fucking paper, right? Rest is valued. Yes, write that down. Rest is value. You know? Debbie says, I used to love writing fan fiction. I stopped because it stopped making me happy, but people thought I should maybe write originals. Originals don't make me happy. Yeah, like, why would you do it? Like, why? Like, if you were a working writer, like I'm a working artist. I do art for, you know, some of my freelance work. And I also have done it when I worked at Trader Joe's. And there were days where drawing avocados with smiley faces did not make me happy, but it was my job. So I did it. But when I came home, I searched for ways to be artistic that did make me happy, because doing art, which I love, but doing it at work when I'm doing it like for work doesn't always make me happy. So I need to do something that makes me happy, because that to me has as much value as the thing I do that makes sure I have health insurance and make sure I have, well, not now, but when I was at Trader Joe's, but make sure that I have, food and a roof over my head and my kids are taken care of. Like, that has value to me. But is that value more important than watching a movie with my kids and seeing RJ laugh because it's the new guy and it's a fucking hilarious movie, Or is it as much value as it has when Jess and I are like both on our phones, snuggling each other, not paying attention to the TV, but we're just laying there close to each other? Like, that has value too, but you can't measure that value. Des says, I think 2020 has taken a toll on all of us, especially those of us with chronic illnesses. This conversation is an eye-opener. Yeah, Zvi, I am down for the eighth principle, by the way. I am all for that. For the record, some homemakers over-decorate a planner as their only outlet for artistic or creative things. And that's the thing. Like, if it makes, like, what did I say in the video about decorating for Christmas early? Like, I get that it gets annoying to see the influencers do it all the time, but fuck, if it makes you happy, then fucking do it, Doing your job for food and shelter directly impacts your illness. And Grace, that's a spot, because for me, it's the same thing. I do freelance work. I'm self-employed. If I don't work, then I don't make money. And so when I didn't do things for 3 days, there were projects I haven't finished yet that if I had finished, that would have brought money in, and I haven't finished them yet. Like, doing the job I do now, I specifically sort of moved to this path because I recognized that going into a grocery store every day as my shit got worse was not tenable. And I love the work I do, but at the same time, if I'm too sick to do it, then I don't make money. And that's right there. It's an entire other conversation about social safety nets and social responsibility and shit like that. That's like a whole other can of worms. But you have said if it makes you happy so many times that Sheryl Crow is now playing here. What started this conversation? Chelsea, I was trying to talk about, I've been really having a mind wrestle about the idea of productivity and how twisted it is, and how being sick makes being productive. They're at odds with each other. The productivity by the accepted standard way people look at it, and being sick, they butt heads. You know what I'm saying? What's UBI? Universal Basic Income. That everybody gets an X amount of money every month as a way to equalize society. Deb says, we also need to guard the things that make us happy, because it's not the right that anyone other than us should design what will decide what makes us feel productive or happy. Yeah. And if you want to make money from the thing that makes you happy, then try and make money from it. But if you don't want to, if you just want to do it for the fun, then just do it for the fucking fun, Oh, Laura, I'm so glad to help. Anybody's week is worth, if you like journaling, or if journaling helps you, your week is worth journaling. I think that's really I don't have an answer for any of these questions yet. And we'll continue this conversation. I'm going to be signing off shortly because I'm about to fall over. I don't have an answer for all these questions, but what I do know is that it is hard, especially right now with the way everything's all fucked up. I'm not going to say unprecedented. Well, I just said unprecedented, but I'm not, but we can all recognize that shit's fucked up right now. Shit is fucked up. And a lot of the things that make me happy, I can't do right now. I can't go to a planner convention and hug everybody. I can't see my kids go to things they want to and hug each other. So I am getting very protective of the things that do make me happy. And I encourage all of you to do the same thing. If there's something that makes you happy that you can do now freely without worrying about making yourself sick or others, or if you can carve a little bit of your time out for doing something, then do it, because it's fucking not worth it to go through life being miserable all the time. Sometimes we're stuck in that. We can't do anything about it. But if you can do anything that makes you happy, then treasure that, because happiness is the thing I think a lot of people take for granted. And there's nothing like a global pandemic to remind people to not take things for granted. Am I right? Anyway, is productivity even quantifiable? That's basically what I've gotten from the Hunters stuff. I'm writing that down too. Is productivity even Yes, I'm very glad for this conversation as well. We will probably continue it next week. I'm going to sign off now. I haven't moved anything over yet because, quite frankly, I don't have the mental energy. So we'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow morning when I start moving shit over and dealing with my week. But we already did our family Thanksgiving. We did zoomsgiving a couple weeks ago, or last weekend. So we're just Jesse and I this week anyway. So it's not like we're doing anything because, we're going to be home socially distanced as we do. You guys, if you are in America, please be safe for Thanksgiving if you're celebrating it. And if you are not in America, or if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, be safe anyway. Things are getting kind of wild out there as winter and the holidays are starting to settle in here in the States, at least. And I don't want to hear about any of you guys leaving me behind because something bad happened. So don't. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Take care of yourselves. I love you all very much. Wear a mask, etc., etc., etc. Subscribe and hit the like button on your way out the door. And I'll see you next time, you guys. Bye.